ABC, Matt here with the new vinyl finds. Better late than never, I guess, right? These are going to be my finds from thrift stores in July and August. Everything here was a quarter. They were all bought from the same thrift store. Let's get into it so I can get caught up. This is Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits. Really not much to say about this. It's his greatest hits, so You're the Sunshine of My Life, My Cherie Amour, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, etc., etc. Good stuff. This is another best of, Iron Butterflies, best of, or evolution as it's called here. Iron Butterfly kind of hit and miss with some of their material, so best of is kind of a good one to have, but this actually kind of completes my Iron Butterfly catalog now. This is one that I've actually been looking for a while. Saw it at a record store recently for like $6, and glad I passed on it and waited because I found this for a quarter. This is the Castanets Cat Super Circus on the Buddha label, you know, the big bubblegum label from the 60s. Stuff like the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, Ohio Express, Music Explosion, The Shadows of Night were actually on Buddha for a while after their heyday with Dunwich. But it is bubblegum music, and it's apparently by these groups. But it's been long rumored that it was the same group. But I'm a big sucker for this stuff. Love this stuff. This is Jimi Spheeris, the original tap dancing kid. Jimi Spheeris was a folk artist. I'm not real familiar with his work, but this looked interesting, and for a quarter, it was definitely worth taking a chance on. This is Claudine with The Look of Love, big hit. I honestly don't know anything else off of the album, but for a quarter, it was worth picking up just for the title song. Some Chad and Jeremy, Distant Shores. This is Chad and Jeremy doing what they do best, which is folk. Not along the lines of Cabbages and Kings or the Ark or anything like that, but yeah, just some good folk by Chad and Jeremy. This is Black Oak, Arkansas. If an angel came to see you, would you make her feel at home? A long title. Just some kind of raucous southern rock stuff from these guys. We've got a couple other albums by them, and they're actually pretty enjoyable stuff, and I can find these pretty cheap around here. And they're in the Endless Trip, so I'm kind of not a completist, but if it's in the Endless Trip, I'm probably going to pick it up. So, Spooky Tooth, The Last Puff. I'm not familiar with this album. I've got a reissue of their first album. It's retitled Tobacco Road. That's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to listening to this one. Tommy James and the Shondells with Travelin'. This is from 1970, one of their later albums. I'm not real familiar with it, but I do like Tommy James quite a bit. This is actually one that I've had on my want list for a while, and I just have never come across. And this was a nice clean copy for super cheap. Can't beat it. This is the Tremeloes Are Here. Brian Poole, of course, was the group leader, and I know he had some albums, billed as Brian Poole or Brian Poole and the Tremeloes. So I don't know if this is the first one where they were kind of headlined. It's not on Discogs, so I didn't find a whole lot of info out about this, but I enjoy the Tremolo stuff. I've got a couple of their other later LPs, and this is, I want to say 63 or 64. Pretty excited to give this one a listen, though. It looks fun. This is Gabriel Jabo with Blowing Some Old Smoke. This is a compilation on Buddha. Didn't even know he was on Buddha until I found this. But some nice covers of Sunshine Superman, Stormy, Walker Ray Renee. Gabriel Jabo, not normally the kind of stuff I'm into, a little bit more jazz oriented than I'm usually interested in, but this is good stuff. He's a great artist. Some of his early albums are definitely worth checking out. Then we have Ranma Tam, self-titled, kind of a super group with April Lawton, a fantastic female guitarist, Mike Panera, another guitarist who was with Iron Butterfly for an album or two, and yeah, this is one that I've seen in the VC quite a bit from people, and I've never come across personally and found this copy, and I haven't even had a chance to listen to it yet. I know some reviews that I read of it were kind of so-so about it, saying like for a super group they didn't mesh well together, but I'm still excited to give it a listen. We have Brian Hyland with The Joker Went Wild and Run Run Look and See. Joker Went Wild is a great track, a really fun kind of 60s vocal pop track, and yeah, anything by Brian Hyland, he's an enjoyable listen. You kind of know what you're getting into with him, one of those kind of teenage vocal pop guys from the 60s. This next stack I actually just found a couple days ago. I haven't even had a chance to clean these, let alone listen to them. But first up, this is Walden, self-titled. It's by actually a woman named Lois Walden. It's apparently some folk rock with some psych leanings, according to some descriptions I found online. No idea. This is on Earth Records. Really excited to get into this. It just kind of looks obscure and different and weird from 1970. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. Then we have Mountain with Twin Peaks. Really happy to find this. I like Mountain a lot. Leslie West, fantastic guitar player, and these guys you know, we're known for letting loose a little bit, and I'm into that stuff. One you don't normally see at your local thrift stores, this is Roxy Music with Siren, their 5th album. This is actually the first Roxy Music I have in my collection at all. So, yeah, I was pretty stoked to see that in the bins. This is Jimmy Gilmer and the Fireballs with Sugar Shack, probably their most well-known hit. Just some instrumental guitar stuff along the lines of like the Ventures or the Wailers or something like that. So, actually my first Jimmy Gilmer as well. And I am a sucker for Christmas albums, I am, and this is one that I was wanting for quite a while, pretty high up in the list. This is John Fahey with The New Possibility, his guitar Christmas album. The cover's in kind of rough shape. It looked like it came from a library, most likely, with the corner cut out here and the label on top. But the vinyl's super clean. It's actually, I think it's a reissue from the late 70s or early 80s, but yeah, I'm at least happy to have it in the collection now. This one was a really nice surprise to see. This is the JBs Doing It to Death, James Brown's backing band. Kind of a funk, soul, kind of grail for a lot of people, I would say. And I was lucky enough to snag this on the cheap. You can see there's a seam split big time on the bottom, and the sides kind of roached there, but the vinyl's actually not too bad. I don't know if it's VG plus, but it's a strong VG at least, so hoping it plays through okay, and I'll fix the seam splits with Chris's little hot glue gun trick. So yeah, really cool find here. And the find that I was most excited about, this is the Heartbreakers live at Max's in Kansas City. No relation to Tom Petty. This is Johnny Thunder's group after the New York Dolls went their separate ways. You know, some early kind of punk leanings, really good stuff, and very happy to find this in actually pretty clean condition for being in a thrift store. There's a little bit of ring wear, no seam splits, the vinyl's nice, and just really happy to have this in the collection now. I know it wasn't real informative on a lot of what I found, and I apologize about that. Haven't had a lot of time to listen to stuff yet. I've been pretty busy, but you guys don't care. But thank you so much for sticking around with me, guys, and I hope to get another video posted soon. And we know my track record on that, though, so fingers crossed. Thanks, guys. See ya.